You are getting 2 for the price of 1 here on Friday the 13th. Oh, the irony. We open this evening here with the man. Well, this is almost like his holiday on Friday the 13th and February the 13th. That is Doc Holliday, the monster himself, the TF Crew Tomorrow's End champion. He was here earlier and he talked plenty about monsters. But a man who last I saw was mine. It seemed to have been controlled about this guy that always hacks into the streams. You know his name. If I say his name, he'll appear right now. So maybe I'll hold off on saying his name. But I'll talk about this man here, who it is his birthday after all, and he's got plenty to say here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. And we'll talk about some places that he's been. 814. We'll talk about certainly Mon Valley tomorrow. Valentine's Day, the irony. Friday the 13th, then it's Valentine's Day, and maybe he'll be involved in some things that we'll talk about, and maybe we'll talk about most certainly the WVWF, where I'm sure say his name and it'll come up. But since it is his birthday after all, and I do have something for him, which I'll most certainly get to, it is my good honor, and certainly for angels and demons, get your preferred beverage ready, because it is time now to celebrate the birthday boy here in style on Sportzwire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and all wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado here on the Sports Report, number one cable sports show. A man that is certainly a gentleman of exquisite caliber, and on his birthday, his name is simply but Godrick Well, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Godrick Sandwell. Happy birthday to you. My friend, happy birthday, and how are we doing?
Well, firstly, I would like to offer you a toast for such a gallant introduction, sir. Thank you very kindly. Here's to you, Salancha.
I appreciate that. Whatever you said, I'll certainly agree with you on that. But happy birthday, champ. Always good to see you on here, especially after your last appearance. Let's certainly see how this goes. But the gentleman of exquisite caliber, I'll get to that. I'll certainly say his name, and I think everybody knows who I'm talking about. But let's talk about some places that you've been recently, and let's talk about one place with the area code 814, and talk to me about that. And for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you most certainly once again have celebrated your birthday on Sportswire Radio. Talked about a guy that you met in the ring who's also first name Thomas, but last name Mathis.
Yes, that absolute rapscallion, as I like to refer to him. Not exactly everybody's favorite gym bro, I must say, as is said these days. What does gym bro mean, by the way? I'm still kind of.
I only now there's a place in Brooklyn called Jetro where people would buy supplies in bulk, whether it's beverages, whether it's solo cups, like I have in Maverick had famously pointed, other types of supplies. But I've never really heard what that word means. I mean, you would know because after all, you're all the gentleman of exquisite caliber. Although I won't bring up that "Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grade" episode you did once upon a time somewhere else. But I mean, I would think if anybody that would know it, it would be you, or maybe somebody that's not here in this chat, surprisingly, and that is one Courtney Wood. If anybody that would know it would be you or Miss Wood.
Well, then in that case, I will pose the question to whoever is in the chat. If somebody could please define what a gym bro is, that would be especially lovely on this interesting evening, to say the least.
Gym bros, I mean, I guess, I mean, you know, you're in gym, maybe you would be hanging out with some bros. I mean, but I don't remember, you know, when I was in school, when I was in high school, hanging out, and I called my bros in gym class. But then again, I don't think we said the word bro in gym class when I went to high school, because that's going back now a long time. So I have no idea how to answer that. But I mean, let's maybe go to the footage before we get to everybody else that wants to wish you a happy birthday. But let's go to the tape, as famously they would say on the George Michael Sports Machine, and Warner Wolf, who was a famous sportscaster. Let's go to the videotape. Let's go to the videotape on YouTube, because we have it here. And let's talk about Thomas Mathis. You've talked about him a little bit here in the past, and I know him from 814 Wrestling. So talk to me about what we're about to expect here, courtesy of one Miss Courtney Wood.
Oh, spake of the gym bro, and there he appears. I'll never deny any of his talent or ability or durability in that ring. He's a tough customer in his own right. I wonder if him being a gym bro really helps him out with that. Perhaps I'll ask him at some point.
I mean, somebody in the chat, please tell me now that everybody's joined in, and what is a word gym bro? I don't even, you know, Courtney Wood's got like 22 degrees. I'm sure she'll figure it out. It's like 22 degrees outside. I hope it'll be 98 degrees. So not that I was a fan of the group, but who knows? Maybe they'll come on Sportswire. At this rate, they might. But, you know, obviously he's out there, and we're about to see you come out there.
Well, that's certainly one way to segue into turning up the heat, especially on one Mr. Thomas Mathis.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're obviously, you know, about to see. And, you know, you're back here again in 814 Wrestling, and, you know, it's a place that you're starting to show up in.
Well, have ring will travel. That is always a gentleman's mantra, no matter the case. And, well, St. Luke's Church out in Altoona has been very kind to me thus far, so I shall return.
I must admit the opposite reaction may be for you tomorrow on Valentine's Day when we talk about that next, right?
Possibly. Granted, New Haven, West Virginia is not exactly kind towards the more intelligent of us, but we shall see.
Yeah. Those are
you never
your
know
words.
what
I'm not going to go down that road. I'm certainly not. I'm going to say I love everybody equally at this point, but you're in the ring and everybody wants to wish you a happy birthday. I'll get to you in a little bit, but we're watching Godrick Sandwell in his most recent match in 814 Wrestling. And this is from Courtney's YouTube channel. I'll put her handle up here in a minute. And we're about to see you come out there. You're taking quite a while, though, to get in the ring, though. You're certainly taking your time, nevertheless.
Yeah. The fans paid to see a spectacle, and a spectacle a gentleman provides.
And obviously your opponent is seemingly not taking it the same way you are.
Well, that's quite all right. I didn't quite see this before, obviously, but now that I'm looking at it, his rather nonchalant attitude towards me, You don't sleep on anybody in this business. I would never sleep on him, and you best not sleep on me.
And at least considering the distance, you didn't have to sleep in the car on the way to getting here, right?
Oh, thank heavens that was not the case because
Because we've seen you in places in the past, like Tennessee and certainly other parts of Ohio and, and other places that, you certainly might have slept in the car ride or at least pulled off on the side of the road. Maybe Courtney can vouch for it, not say it on the air, but at least in this case where you were traveling, you didn't have that worry. But we're finally about to see you two lock up, and it's an exciting match, and I think we're looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah. Then let us grab our preferred beverages and some more hors d'oeuvres because spectacle it shall be.
So talk to me about the kind
maybe
of
not
opponent. Well, talk to me. Well, I'll tell you what. You may not want to, but I'm going to talk about it for the time I have. Talk to me about the kind of opponent Thomas Mathis is here in this match.
Well, as I've said before, he's been around for quite some time. I know he's picked up quite a few tricks along his pilgrimage, as have I.
Yep.
But every once in a while, you run into somebody who's a little bit more savvy than you in some ways. But
how about that? How about that? I mean, it looked like he was ready to, let's just say go and give you some aerial offense, but you found a way to counter without even making a move, and that was certainly some clever offense on your behalf, and now you've got him a little bit where you like him.
Well, he may have some of the better abs in the business that I have personally have ever stepped across the ring from, but, well, I think 2 legs to the mush, as they say these days, will settle his abs down really quickly.
But a smart move on his half, or I should say on his act, because he now went on the outside and bought himself some time. Veteran tactics. See this all the time in wrestling. Veteran tactic, and gives him some time to get his composure. And when he's ready, come back inside that squared circle and maybe give himself an opportunity to see what's in front of him.
Well, I do concur. The cowardly tactic it might be, but I got to respect intelligence nevertheless.
And that's what he's doing, and he's looking at you, and he's back and forth. He's slowly biding his time and coming back out there. There you go. You lock horns with him, and in this case, he's got a little bit of a strength advantage, like you said, a little more than a strength advantage. It is your birthday, so I wanted to put it only a little bit, but nevertheless, he's using his strength as his advantage. You're going to use your agility. You're going to use some of your offense that you will bring into the ring, but he'll use his size and strength, and there you go. And working as efficiently as you are, some nice drop kicks, some high drop kicks, and putting him in a position where he can't run on the outside.
Yeah, as I've said before, don't sleep on anybody in this business. I don't care how big they are. I don't care how small they are. They can get you almost any time. I'm not ashamed to say that I've fallen victim to that once or twice, and I'm sure it'll happen again.
Well, you just did there just now, because you went to the high red district and you gave him a little bit of time to get his composure, and now he's got you right where he wants you. And he had a nice, I guess, some kind of back breaker there. I mean, that was a nice little inverted move there, and he's going to use that. And now you're down and not where you want to be at this moment.
No, I am not. And I got to tell you, after missing that blockbuster, I should say I needed to be at the chiropractor for about a week.
Well, you know what? I'm sure that the chiropractor bill is going to be coming in here very shortly. But listen, he's definitely going back to where he had you. And that's, again, smart tactics, whether you like it or not. He's working where you have a weakness, and that's what a veteran's going to do. And he knows that. And nice little suplex there. And he's working on that back. And that's what he's done here over the past minute. And that's where he got you. But that's certainly not going to do it. That's sort of a cocky move on his part, unveteran-like. Previously saw some veteran tactics, but in that case, the nonchalant cover is not going to put somebody away like you that easy.
Well, He may have some of the better body in the business that I've seen so far, but oh, that's right. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Oh.
you were fighting it, but unfortunately, you couldn't fight that feeling because that feeling definitely hurt. But you did kick out. You did kick out, so got to give you that much.
Oh.
You did kick out. You're fighting. You're definitely gonna not give up easily here in front of an 814 crowd. 814 puts on great shows. Definitely 814 is one of those premier wrestling companies where it has some great talents, people we certainly know very well that have been on this platform many a times in the past. So Godrick being a part of that crowd is certainly willing him here a little bit. And Mr. Mathis is he's definitely fighting. Well, let's just say a little dirty, but he's going back to the high rent district where you were, and got the same result you did a few minutes ago when you tried from the high rent district.
Well, almost. He just simply moved out of the way. I decided to put those rock hard abs to the test once more, and thankfully my knees are still in place.
Well, I'm glad your knees are still in place, and I'm glad that nevertheless it was still the same result. But you guys are definitely fighting a back and forth match, and it's a matter of who gets to their feet first. And you guys are struggling, but there you go. Again, another nice move for you there, and you're feeling it. You're feeling it. You're getting ready. You're getting ready, but there you there you got him. It looked like maybe he was going to fight it back there, Thomas Mathis, but you got to turn around. You're going back to that high rent district once again. This is the second time you're trying it. We'll see. And there you go. Got him. You got him there on that blockbuster, and you're definitely the stuff. Godrick Sandwell is definitely the stuff. You're feeling it. Turn around, though. You got to cover him. Come on. You got to turn around, and you're about to get him right where you want him. Let's see if you finish it. You got Thomas Mathis, and you got him right where you want him. But you got him. There it is. There it is. Cover. Come on. 1, 2. You got to think you had him there.
That's about as close to a 3 count as I recall ever getting.
I mean, that was 2 9/10, and even with maybe the late getting to your feet and getting over to him, you look like you had a Thomas Mathis, and you got to be wondering, what can I do to keep this man down? But he's begging for mercy. He's begging for mercy, and you're pointing at him, and this is going to be match set point, and you're about to crown him, but wait a minute, wait, 1, 2, 3, Godrick Sandwell. In a match that you had control of, and it seemed like you had him right where you want him. The veteran out of nowhere, where it seemed like he was begging for mercy, finds a way to roll you up. And 1, 2, 3, and you can pound that mat all you want, but you got beat, and you got beat with a veteran who knows this game, and let's just say, got into your mind like somebody else who I'll certainly say their name later on.
The beauty of it is I did have one more little pearl of wisdom I wanted to pass to Mr. Mathis, but yeah. He's a clever one, all right.
Oh, he's clever. It's the mind games once again. You were beat. In here. Weren't here. You were beat in there. Just like we saw in your last appearance on Sportswire. Once again here tonight. Beat at your own game. Beat in there. Not here.
Not right now. Not right now.
No, well, we hope not. Well, we certainly hope not. While you figure out to ponder where we go from here, you can go to there to hit that sub button for Courtney Wood. And we gave Courtney a little reference in my interview with Mo Royce Peterson, vocalist and guitarist from Tragedy, a all-metal tribute from the Bee Gees. So hopefully she liked the shout out, but shout her out, hit a sub button for her on YouTube. She'll be a topic later on. So obviously, Another tough loss there in 814. And, I heard from a birdie that speaking of a guy with abs who may have more abs or certainly more muscles than even a Thomas Mathis, you did go in that ring with that guy I've seen face to face on my screen on more than an occasion or two. And that's Surge, Mr. Power Surge himself.
Yeah, that was about what, a month ago, I believe. But unlike the absolute rapscallion, I would define the man of power, Surge. I would define him more as a good man. I confess he's got some muscles in places that probably do not exist on my body, but it doesn't change the fact that he's a good man. He's a good man and a fierce competitor.
Surge. Trust me, Surge. You don't want to say Surge is a bad man because Surge, I've seen him on here and I've seen what the man can lift. I've seen what the man can do and who he's hung out with in the past. So yeah, no, he's definitely a guy that you definitely want to be on his good side. He's a guy that doesn't say much, but he lets his talking do it for him in that ring. That's why he is where he is.
Well, I do agree, and though granted the circumstances were not exactly the most amicable in terms of, but I will say to Mr. Surge, if you are listening to this, number one, congratulations for a title defense the last time we saw each other. But more importantly, secondly, should the opportunity come up for Power Surge and Godrick Sandwell 2, you better believe I'm going to be as prepared for that as I am in the study.
Well, listen, I see that too. Not to quote Max Hammer at all, but you're certainly going to be too legit to quit when it comes to maybe wrestling one Surge. But I understand you're going to be somewhere tomorrow, and maybe you want to talk about it for us.
Well, you are correct. My journey takes me next to a place of conquest that unfortunately cost me dearly and aided, I should say, in this spiral that I've been dealing with for quite some time. But to come back to it, TWA, Road to Glory, it will be, as mentioned, myself and Tim Patterson also, as I step one close, my head, as I inch one step closer to a legacy championship that I should have had last year. But this is a chance to get one step closer to making that wrong right. And for that rock star underdog, yeah, I've been looking forward to meeting him in that ring for quite a while. And the first time we met, he nowhere near disappointed me. Now, the audience could have been a little bit kinder towards yours truly, but be that as it may, I'm certainly looking forward. I'm looking forward to seeing him again.
Well, hopefully you've learned from the first time to help you maybe have, let's say, a happy Valentine's Day with a W less than 24 hours from now.
Mm-hmm. And with that W, I will be one step closer to claiming a legacy championship that is already mine. The audience, and Mr. Patterson just doesn't understand why yet. But they'll learn soon enough.
A Valentine's Day victory, nevertheless, huh?
That would be great. I could use a little bit less heartbreak in my life. And, well, to pardon something of a pun as well, I'm not interested in doing so. But if Tim Patterson's heart must be broken for me to claim what is rightly mine, then, well, that's just the way it is.
Well, I mean, obviously, listen, to quote Bruce Hornsby there, and I hope you won't be heading for a heartbreak tomorrow there, and obviously learning from wrestling Mr. Patterson. We had talked about him in the past, and hopefully the Redux will certainly be better than the original. And Redux was actually a tag team or a group that once upon a time Power Surge was a part of. Oh, the irony of those names. So hopefully you'll have more luck against Tim Patterson than when you had against Surge, and the irony of those things here coming up. And And obviously, those are some exciting things. And I have some people here in the chat that want to talk with you. I want to give you something, and then obviously maybe get to another place you may be that you've been familiar with. Maybe you've had some more success at, and then most certainly get to a place that you know it's coming. You know what I'm going to talk about. The following weekend, 325 7th Street, Parkersburg, West Virginia. I'm going to be getting to that. Yeah, I know. Your mind, we just saw what Thomas Mathis did in your mind, and it's coming. I know it's your birthday, but it is Friday the 13th, and I hope the chat is ready because we have some people here who do want to wish you happy birthday. I want to say hello to my friend Maria out there. She says good evening, and I hope that she's doing well. And this person who you've seen before in a place that we will talk about after we get through the chat, and I think you know who she is, and she wants to call you Hamilton. Happy birthday, Hamilton. And, obviously.
Of course you do.
And she'll be here next Friday night when, in your chair, Dave Jamieson, one half of those MVP Tag Team Champions will be, but he's not coming alone. He'll be coming alongside a man you have history with, a man you know, and Tyler Grayson.
Oh.
They're going to be here, both of them, next Friday night, same bat channel, same bat time. The MVP Tag Team Champions are here. And I know she's going to be here because I saw her going back and forth with Dave Jamieson. And you can find Dave Jamieson here on Sportzwire Radio next Friday night. And she keeps saying that her team of Peanut Butter and Jealous are going to take those Tag Team Championships. But right now, the only place where you can talk and see and try to take those Tag Team Championships away from Dave Jamieson and Tyler Grayson will be next Friday night here on Sportswire Radio, the only platform where all music and all wrestling matters, and the only platform that's been featured in Parade Magazine.
Well, Peanut Butter and Jealous against a team of the Prince of Chaos and the leader of the Grayson Nation. It's, man, that's going to be worth the price of admission by itself.
I tell you what, that's why I would be here if I wasn't here next Friday night. And Dave Jamieson, he ain't coming alone, and he's going to be with Tyler Grayson, and we're going to be talking a lot about that next Friday night. Zilla's here. Thank you, Zilla. Zilla actually, for the last two streams, wasn't here first, but to be fair, I didn't do a live stream the last two. I was here Wednesday with, again, from the band Tragedy, All Metal Beatles, Bee Gees tribute, Mo Royce Peterson, and then I wasn't here yesterday because I wasn't here, but we're making up for maybe Zilla forgot who to be here first with, and thank you, Zilla. Zilla's wishing you a happy birthday. Speaking of people who you will see in Parkersburg next Saturday, one half of the WVWF Tag Team Champions, the Rare Bird Chris Phoenix, and the winner of my Megadeth CD giveaway. Wanted to say happy birthday, Godrick. May it
Mr. Phoenix, good to see you as always.
Yes, and the champs will be on here in a few weeks, so we look forward to that. Speaking of people who wanted to wish happy birthday, the Prodigy himself, the legendary Prodigy, wanted to wish you happy birthday. Much love and respect. Hello to
Mr. Curry.
There she is. There she is. Really been a topic, and she's been disappointed in you, though. She has not been happy with you, but she took a little bit of time and maybe away from some of those things. She's probably watching curling on the Winter Olympics right now, but she did want to wish you a happy birthday, despite her blaming you for what happened to Phoebe Hubb, which we're going to talk about. You know it's your birthday. That was Friday the 13th, but we are going to talk about that very soon. So I'll get to that, but let's get to some more comments. You have a bunch of them, as usual. Mr. Sandwell, happy birthday. You're in a small group of people in our business I trust, respect, and hold on a high pedestal. You've earned the accolades. There you go. Very well said. Thank you.
Please, you were too kind. I appreciate those words.
Lady Lestat, and you certainly know the Banana Man Lestat, and shout out to Lady Lestat too, but many of your matches are still up. And also, 814 put on a hell of a show. I enjoyed it very much. Yes, 814.
Good.
I've talked about 814 for a while, and obviously D Savage and Power Surge have been a part of that for a while. Surge a little longer than Savage, but yes, I've known of 814 for quite a while, and I think Savage debuted there, I want to say, just over a year ago, and Surge was there a little bit before that. So that
sounds about right.
Yep. Yeah, Surge has been there. I think he was about 6 months ahead of Savage or something like that. Something like that. But hello. Hi. Yes, she meant to say Zilla. Good. Miss you, Godrick. and hope
Oh,
you had an amazing birthday today. I mean, it is Friday the 13th. So I hope so far it's an amazing birthday. Hit the sub button for Courtney. Well, you just wait. You just see. Speaking of people that are here, also, Day Jameson deserves better than Tyler Grayson. But they're the champs, though. They're the incumbents.
um, I'm not exactly sure if they don't deserve each other so greatly because it seems like
Hmm.
they put on quite the spectacle in the ring themselves. So I'm mildly confused by the statement.
Well, she makes a point that Day Jameson is collectively has 4 championships and he's looking for a 5th. He has now made that claim out there, and he made that claim related to Mon Valley, and he would like to have 5 championships. And would that be a part of it because of Tyler Grayson? I don't know, but what I do say
Hmm.
is, let's get some more comments. Yes, it is a tribute to the Bee Gees and beyond. Yes, and they just played Vakken today, which is up on Instagram. There's a clip of that for a song Without You. You can check out the band Tragedy. It's a all metal tribute to the Bee Gees, and they're working on some new music. So please support the band, and we were very honored to have them on. I would love one day to have a friendly fire, you might want to say, between the Prodigy and Mr. Sandwell. I've come to see the light, and I realized my old ways of villainous tactics wasn't the path I shouldn't be on. Mr. Sandwell, I look forward to seeing you. I ad-libbed a couple of more to finish the sentence, but your take.
Should that be the case, Mr. Curry, I would be most honored to be in that squared circle with you once again.
Well, you know what? That's certainly something that we would all keep an eye on. But I do want to talk about, before I give you, let's talk about Mon Valley Pro, a place where you have an interesting history. And when will we
Mm.
see you next there?
Well, tomorrow, as has been mentioned, my business takes me elsewhere.
Yes, we heard quite a bit about that.
Yeah, speaking of Mon Valley, if my memory serves, Master Jameson is taking on my very good friend Lestat, if I recall correctly.
Yes, in a friendly fire, you might want to say. Get it, friendly
Uh,
fire collective. Yes, the Mon Valley Pro champion, and obviously he wants a 5th championship, and that was his promo that he cut not too long ago. And I mean, obviously you'd be paying attention to that, I'm sure.
I would be. I consider both of them some good friends, and as much as I'm not the biggest fan of friendly squabbles, but for a championship, I do understand. I just wish them the both the best of luck, and I pray that they can shake hands afterwards. And who knows, maybe go share a table and have some lava cake
Well,
afterwards.
they'll collectively, I'm sure, figure it out. And obviously, them, with their history, they have said famously on it, they do like to compete against each other. So there is that. So I guess that would be something that we will be paying attention to very closely. And I'm sure the fallout from that. We'll talk with Dave Jameson when we find him back on Sportswire Radio here next Friday night. But before I get to it, and I'm sure I'll be saying his name right afterwards, let me do it while I have it. But I've decided, because for those who are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, I've inducted you into the Hall of Fame on Friday, February the 13th. And that's the reason why, because my guest earlier today, or just a little while ago, Doc Holliday, we put him in the Hall of Fame for his 2 decades in wrestling, and we gave him the day. So I figured, well, how am I going to get around that? Well, I put Godrick Sandwell in the Hall of Fame once again for Friday, February the 13th, because, well, that's the way we do things on Sportswire Radio. So happy birthday and congratulations.
Thank you, Reverend. You are far too kind as always.
I appreciate that very much, and we'll give you the physical copy when we're off the air. And I did want to plug myself very quickly before I get to what some people may want to talk about. If you have a chance and you'd like to read about my recent interview with the guy that is considered to be the greatest living drummer out there, you can do that here on blabbermouth.net with Mr. Carmine Appice. Carmine Appice, not too far from my neck of the woods, and he was the drummer for Rod Stewart in his biggest moments. He also drummed for a very brief period of time for Mr. Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness himself. So Mr. Appice and I were in blabbermouth.net, and we get 1 million readers or so a day from it. So a lot of people checked it out, and a lot of people have viewed the interview. So if you'd like to read it, that's the link. And Mr. Appice is a very interesting guy, and he's 79, still playing. And I'm sure you'll be in the ring still, Godrick Sandwell, at 79 and doing what you do best. But thank you, everybody, for that. But I guess I'm going to have to bring up
read that article. He did bring up some very good points.
Yeah.
As far as some of these bands today, call my music taste a little bit antiquated if you wish, but I just, like him, I don't truly understand it, but perhaps it's just because of my old-fashioned taste.
No, I mean, listen, it's a big topic in the and we know that's the ad. Unfortunately, that's Blabbermouth. We'll take that off the screen and bring it back up. But no, listen, before I get to that, I mean, if you want to go into it for a second, listen, there is no question that the music business is a far different business than the one it was even 10 years ago, and certainly 20 years ago. And many people don't buy music, and bands today have a lot more of a difficult time. And that's what kind of Mr. Appice's point was, and a lot of them don't sell the kind of records that they do today. And he was talking about bands that are successful, and bands that he talked about was Ghost and Sleep Token as the two bands he didn't understand. And he referenced them in the interview, in the quote, and and about making money, and bands don't have gold and platinum albums, and the way people make music in terms of how they used to make it is far different. And the artists struggle to make money, and that's why they're performing on the road. But Mr. Appice knows a thing or two about those things. You can read the article here. And also, she would like to say, before I get to it, you need to return to MVP. But you just said you are returning to MVP soon. You said that you're returning, but you're not going to be there tomorrow because you have other business with Mr. Patterson. But you will be back soon, and you won't be called Hamilton, I'm sure.
Of that, I very much doubt, especially from this Jen right there, because for some reason she insists that I look like this other figure that I'm still trying to figure out how I look like. But be that as it may, yes, I do have every intention to return to Mon Valley Pro as soon as humanly possible. But first things first, TWA has a legacy championship that belongs to me.
Well, you know what? You may win that, and we may talk about that. I do want to give a big shout out to the man that kept your seat warm before you were here. That is Mr. Doc Holliday, the TF Crew tomorrow's End champion. And I got to tell you, I want to give him a little plug because he's going to be in the ring this Sunday. You're going to be in the ring this Saturday. He's going to be in the ring this Sunday against this guy who you've probably heard of. You've seen him in Japan, Ring of Honor. He's going to be wrestling this guy that they call the world famous Cheeseburger. That's his opponent this Sunday. Yes. And he's wrestling on a show, which is the TF Crew Milford Mania 2026. I want to give it a big plug. Hit the sub button for the TF Crew. And he's going to be wrestling on a card where, guess who's going to be on here? You got this guy who is an ECW legend, 2 times held the ECW Tag Team Championships when it really was ECW, and was a WWE Cruiserweight Champion. You might want to say he was a fully blooded Italian, and that guy is Nunzio, little Nunzio. Yeah. He's going to be on that card. You also got this guy who, well, once upon a time was only in places like Major League Wrestling, AEW's first show, Double or Nothing, and for 2 years was a part of Impact Wrestling. He was the former Limitless Wrestling heavyweight champion. It's Big Boy season, Ace Romero. And that's the card that this guy's going to be on. He's going to be at the Milford Mall in Connecticut, Milford, Connecticut. And he's going to be there, Doc Holliday. And I want to give it a because I'm a sponsor of the show. And that show is going to take place this Sunday. And I want to give a plug to the company, TF Crew. And you can see some of the talents. And definitely support them. Before I get to that name I'm going to say in a minute, So please support the TF crew. And all the proceeds go to the Boys and Girls Club of Milford. I'm a sponsor of it. I strongly support this, and I hope that everybody would go out there and check out the TF crew and what they have to offer, especially because of the magnitude of this event and the names. Jimmy Controversy, we know him, and the GTS stars, the former GTS legendary YouTube champion. Ice-T Curtis is going to be there. The Cheenies, Gabe Sayers, a lot of great names that you may have seen. So please support the TF crew. I'm a sponsor of the show. And who knows? Maybe Godrick Sandwell will be there. Who knows? Whoever else. But it's Sunday, 5 o'clock. The doors open. Bell time, 6 o'clock. It's the Milford Mania, and all the proceeds go to the Boys and Girls Club. So thank you, Doc, for being here. And Jen said she'll be there. And Jen will be there. So she's become a big star in social media. Also, she's big on TikTok, I've seen. Big on Facebook and Instagram. So she has her fans. So hopefully some of her fans show up, and she's awesome. I know Peanut Butter and Jealous will be there, so you might want to check that out. But I have to bring up where everybody wants to hear your 2 cents on, and where you're going to be next Saturday, 325 7th Street, Parkersburg, West Virginia. You know where, the Richardson Building in Love and War, the WVWF's next show.
I said it before, in a bit of a craze from what I remember seeing in the very few bits and pieces that I do remember. February 21st, I do indeed return, because there was a friend of mine that carries a not such a great friend of mine that owes me a couple of answers, that I think owes Miss Harper some answers, that I think owes the WWF faithful some answers for his affront.
Well, I think you want me to say his name, right? You want me to say his name? It is your birthday, but I got to say his name, because I think you're referring to that guy who's the Universal Hybrid Champion, Daniel Tafua. And he's the guy. There it is. He's got your mind. He's in your mind still.
If I may be so bold as to say, Reverend Bryce, no. He never left.
No?
He never left. Ever since that day, ever since I had to carry Miss Harper out, I'm grateful that I have people in my life that are far wiser than me in a lot of other manners. I'm not talking intellectually. I'm not talking about books. I'm not even talking about professional wrestling as a whole. I'm talking some of the other realms, some of the realms that some people may know that I have taken my casual traipse to, but there are some things even I don't know. And as I said, I'm glad I have a lot of people that are far greater in intellect than I, that have been more than willing to help me attempt to make some sense of all of this. God, don't get in my head. You're not bringing him out. No. I'm staying in control.
I don't know there. I mean, it just seems that there's some confusion and just the mind. I mean, we talked about at the beginning of the show with Thomas Mathis, but with that guy and that mask especially. And I want to remind you about something. You know, we were here Tuesday night, the last time we were live, right? We were here with this guy, Harley Langley, small time Harley Langley, the owner of the USWA. And Daniel Tafua showed up here. And get this, it was the mask that was talking. Daniel Tafua never said a word and walked off. Never said a word and walked off. So it's to the point that it's taking a life of its own. It's a life of its own. And I could see it in you from when we started the show to where we are now. It's not even that long ago. I mean, there's just, I don't know, Godrick. They're just, maybe the mask is inside of you without even realizing that devil in the blue coat and, all those things. I mean, just, oh my God.
No.
You
No.
Doc Connie, maybe, who's here in the chat. The monster. He said he was talking about monsters in his own right, and you've got a monster in you. A monster in you, Godrick Sandwell.
You're right. You're absolutely right about me. Behind my smile, behind all my gestures, every day I wanted to leave that battlefield. No! 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 No. There really are monsters among us. There are. When you said that mighty Lega spoke through my friend, what did he say? Did he say anything that could help any of this?
Nothing. When he was here on Tuesday, the mask spoke, and then it was literally quicker than a New York minute. I mean, there was just, I never see anything like this before. Even Harley Langley, who's the boss of Daniel Tafua, couldn't even figure it out. I mean, that's the point. I can see in your mind, it seems like something else. There's a different application of what's in here. And, the mind games, you're usually Godrick Sandwell, get your preferred beverage, that lava cake, and just the way this show started to where we are. I mean, it's just, I don't know what to say anymore. Just, this isn't Godrick Sandwell. This is not Godrick Sandwell. I mean, it's just, there's something has gotten into it. I understand. I completely understand.
And I fight like I don't want to swear on this platform.
If you want, I can get that button. I got it right in front of me. If you need to, it's here. It's here.
That's quite all right. I'm Get out of my mind, Tafua. Or no.
He's in everyone's mind at this point. I mean, listen, he's been on here. It's the point he's hacked into the stream time and time again. I mean, he's practically picked up space here at this point. He's become a product of the environment, but most importantly, he's become a product of your environment, and it's Friday the 13th. It's Friday the 13th. But Godrick Sandwell, I hate to do this, but apparently I've received word that there's somebody here right now in this stream, and I'm going to show it because I have no idea, but I think I might know that your mind might not want to know it. But for those that are listening and watching in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest oh my God!
You! Mighty Lega. We meet again.
Open your mind.
Whoa! He did it again! This time, did you see that? Godrick! Oh my God! Godrick! I don't even know what more to say, but did you just see that? No, you can't even figure it out. But we all just saw what we just saw, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel Tafua didn't even tell us somebody else's voice. And then they just went off. And that was that. That was that. Godrick Sandwell, listen, you certainly, maybe you shouldn't show up on the 21st. Maybe you shouldn't show up because if this happened yet again to you, what's going to happen when you show up there? It's going to be even worse. This is a nightmare for you. This is the irony of Friday the 13th and what we just saw. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Tafua hacked into the stream and just the mask went off and Daniel Tafua spoke in a way that it was the mask that spoke, but it was Daniel Tafua. The mask spoke through Daniel Tafua. Ladies and gentlemen, Godrick Sandwell, there isn't much more we can say tonight. You're clearly confused. You clearly have your mind controlled, and it's controlled by the mask, the mighty ego of Daniel Tafua, and you're going to have to figure this out because next week is coming, and it's not too far away, and I don't even know. This is a nightmare. It's a bad dream for you. It's supposed to have been a birthday celebration, but yet again, it's not. And Dylan, we're congratulating him, but right now, the only person we should be congratulating, aside from Doc Holliday, is the mighty league of Daniel Tafua. And Doc Holliday says, "Be free," but you may never be free because the mask now controls your mind. And Godrick, all I can say is, just you're confusing. Thank you, Godrick. Thank you very much for being here and just happy birthday. But that mind, I can see, and just I don't know what more else to say. But we're out of time, and I hope that you can figure a way to get through this, and and Ian Graves, senior official in many places, in many of your matches, he's reffed. I told you a very long time ago, either you face your fears or be consumed by them, and the time has finally been chosen for you. It seems that way. Courtney Wood continues to blame you on and off the air, and just it seems like now your mask is through Daniel Tafua, and you're just Godrick, happy birthday, but at what cost? At what cost is Godrick celebrating his birthday? What a time, everybody. Thank you so much. Happy Valentine's Day to all those Valentines. I don't know if Godrick Sandwell is going to be celebrating. He better compose himself because the mind of his is controlled by someone else, and he'll be up in action against Tim Patterson, but he'll be back in Parkersburg, West Virginia next Saturday, and who knows what's in store. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. He can't even speak for himself at this point. It's Daniel Tafua and the mask really speaking, so there's not much more to say, but hit the sub button for us. Check out my interview with Carmine Apiece. I'll be here tomorrow, and stay tuned for further details. But Hubie Jenkins of the EWA is here at 9:30 on Sunday, and 5 o'clock Ryan Days from Superstar Southern Wrestling. Have a great everybody. It's Friday the 13th, so be safe where you are. Be careful, and don't end up like Godrick Sandwell, especially on his birthday. Have pity, and we'll see you soon. Have a great night.